All right, let's talk about Enzo Maresca because we all know that Enzo Maresca will be the next Manchester City coach. And now there's reports saying Chelsea, the hierarchy of Chelsea, they are saying Manchester City will have to pay them or compensate them for getting Enzo Maresca. Now they're also saying that the reason why Chelsea finished the season poorly was because of Manchester City, because they were talking to Enzo Maresca while Enzo Maresca was the Chelsea coach. Now we shouldn't forget that as at when he was the Chelsea coach, he still had about 3.5 years left in his contract. So they are not happy. Why would City be talking to the coach while he was, you know, the manager of Chelsea or the coach of Chelsea? And for me, I feel like Enzo Maresca himself knows, because then he was saying he's not going anywhere, he will remain at Chelsea. I feel like he knows that City wants him. Obviously, City are talking to him, they want him to be the replacement for Pep Guardiola. And he also knows that Pep Guardiola will be leaving Manchester City this season. He knows. So that's the reason why he left. He left Chelsea because he wants to manage Manchester City. And for me, I feel like the City, I mean, and the Chelsea hierarchy or board or ownership, they made things easy for him to leave the club. My point is because they did not really back Enzo Maresca in terms of giving him quality players to compete. Because every coach that is managing the club like Chelsea will want to compete, especially if you know that you're a good coach, especially if you know that you're good enough, you have the quality, to compete for the league, for the Champions League, for trophies, especially if you know as a coach you have the quality to compete. Because I feel like for me, Enzo Maresca for me is a very good coach. He is a top coach for me, and that's the reason why Manchester City wants him. Because if he is not a top coach, if they don't see him as the kind of the kind of coach that can take over from Pep, they will not go for him. So the reason why they went for him, because they know that he's good enough to to continue the good work that Pep Guardiola had done for the club. So for me, if I want to blame, I will blame him, and I also blame the Chelsea management, the people managing the club. Because first, it's not a good thing that he left the club. He shouldn't have left Chelsea. Even if he wants to, as at the time he left the club, he shouldn't have leave at that time. Even if he wants to leave, he should have, okay, they come to an agreement. He will stay at the club till the ending of the season and then leave. And then Chelsea will now go and get a coach, another coach that they want. But for him to leave that time, I still think the Chelsea board, they made things easy for him by not backing him up. Because as at when the season started last season, or this season that just ended, Enzo Maresca said he wants another defender, a central defender. When Levi Colwill got injured, long time injury, he said he wanted another defender, but Chelsea refused to give him. The board, they refused to give him another defender. So for me, that was probably what he'll be looking at, saying, I wanted backing, proper players to push for the league, and they refuse to give me what I want. So I feel like probably that's another reason why, for me, that's the main reason why he will leave. But I still think he shouldn't have left the club, because him leaving the club, there's no doubt him leaving the club was the reason Chelsea finished where they finished, because the players loved him. When he left the club, I feel like the players were disappointed. Many of them, like Enzo Fernandez, this kind of players, Marco Corella, they were disappointed because they had this bond with him already. So I just hope now that they've gotten another coach or manager, Xabi Alonso, I just hope they back him, because I feel like now they have a coach that can compete for the league. They have a coach that can win the league for me 100%. I think Xabi Alonso is good enough to win the league, So if they can back him, he will definitely do well. When I mean back him, I'm talking about giving him quality players. I'm not saying they should go out and just get any player that they feel like getting. Back him properly, give him quality players, and he will do very well. So, but yeah, on Enzo Maresca leaving Chelsea, I feel like the ownership, the board, the sporting directors, they made things easy for him taking that decision. And we shouldn't forget, Enzo Maresca had some kind of connection with Manchester City before he came to Chelsea. He was their youth coach for Manchester City, and then became the assistant coach with Pep for Manchester City. So there's some kind of connection already with that club, with City, and then City have the players already that he will work with. And then City are the kind of club that will always back their manager. They will always back you. So I feel like he's looking at the City job saying, I should be the one managing Manchester City when Pep leaves, and he knows Pep is leaving the ending of this season. He knows. So, yeah, I feel like the reason why he left was because one, he wants to manage Manchester City, knowing that they will give him what he wants to compete for the league, and also the club where he was at the time, Chelsea, they are not ready to compete. The Chelsea ownership, they are not ready to compete. So, and he'll be looking himself that I'm good enough to compete for the league, and I want to win the league. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how the Chelsea owners will start, changing their strategy in terms of buying the quality, the kind of players that they are supposed to get to compete for the league. It will be interesting to see. But yeah, on this one, what is your thought? What's your opinion? You let me know.